friends. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson, the senior minister here. And we love doing mystic moments with you. It's so fun. So I want to talk with you about a conversation I had a few weeks ago. It was about 3 weeks ago, and it has not left me alone. It has not, it's kept me up at night. I've journaled about it. I've thought about it a lot. I took it to St. Louis with me. And it's something that I'm curious and somewhat concerned. So about 3 weeks ago, Kathy Nunemaker and Tom and Rachel and I took dinner to a group of monks who were here from India, and they were creating their mandala like they do so beautifully. And then, of course, they spend the entire week building this amazingly beautiful mandala. And then the last night they do this ceremony and they put they undo the mandala and they put the sand in little bags and then they hand them out. And so anyway, so there were 7 monks, I think. And we all sat at the table and we were all chatting, kind of. They were at one end speaking their language and we were at the other end. But the monk who was right across from me, one of the head monks, could speak English. And I was talking to him and I looked at him and I said, I have a question for you. I've been wanting to ask you guys this. I know you travel the world. I know you see all these different cultures and I'll meet all these people from different corners. And my big question to you is, do you think Americans are happy? And I just looked at him beaming because I knew he would say, oh, yes. And he looked at me and he went, oh, no. And I said, no. And he said, Americans know happy. Americans know joy. Some, but most as a culture, no joy. And I've been thinking so much about that. Here we are, the wealthiest country in the world, maybe not. We have so much to be grateful for. We have freedom like no other. And, many of you know that I have lived in Iran. And so I know what true freedom is as a human being and what it is not. We have so much, and yet we don't have joy. And I said, so do most people around the planet? And he said, much sorrow. And I said, I know. And he said, more joy, other places. I went, yeah, I get that. I get that. So in order for us to live in harmony, which is the quality of September here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. So if we are to live in harmony, then we are to experience, the tough times, the sorrows, the shadow side of life, but we're also here to live in joy and to be in harmony. We get to go back and forth, not swinging like I've done in the past, given my family system, but to just gently experience, but mostly experience the joy, even when we're over here in the shadow. How do we do that? And how is it that other countries and other cultures know how to do that? And we in America are not typically considered to be joyful. What needs to happen? Well, first of all, and those of us who have been around the science mind philosophy, we know this. We have to turn inward. We have to turn inward. And Over the years of working in the human happiness profession, working with so many different people, the thing that surprises me the most is when people say, I don't have time to hang out with the source of my being. I don't have time. I am so busy and I have so much to do and I have so many things to care for and I don't have time. And oh my goodness, in the last 40 years of doing this work, how many times I have begged, taught, encouraged, experienced myself. I've just really promoted the necessity to tap in to the source of our being, and there's many different ways we can do that every day. So I want to talk about 4 steps that will help us create more joy in our life. And these are ones that I'm actually practicing right now. The first one is let go, cast off, leave behind, let it move on. Whatever it is that's not bringing you joy, the items in your home, perhaps some of the people in your life, maybe it's a job, maybe it's an actual home. What is it that's dragging you down? Let it go. Oh, that's easy, Jody. That's so easy for you to say. No, it's not. Especially when some of those people are family members. How do you do that? You let them go with love. You say, I'm just not willing to participate anymore in all of the calamity that happens in our family system. I'm going to pull away. I'm not talking theory on this one. Sometimes we have to just let go. And I do believe that everything has a soul purpose. Everything from a kitchen towel to a rock in our yard to our couches in our living room to on and on and on and on. Everything has a soul and everything has a purpose. And if you have things that are been tucked away for 30 years in a box, let them all go because they want to be used. They want to be purposeful. Let go of anything that is not bringing you joy. Step number 2. This is one of the principles of science of mind philosophy. Create that vision of joy in your everyday life. What is that for you? What is that for you? Create a vision, asking yourself, what is it that brings me the most joy? And then begin to focus on it. Begin to give it color. Begin to hear the sounds. Begin to affirm. Begin to feel yourself in it. Because anytime you create a vision, you always want to come from it, not go to it. Now, that said, I do believe, and I'm right on this, that it is the divine within us that is helping us create this vision. It's the very thing that's pushing us forward, and it's the very thing that's waiting for us to arrive. So, as you create your vision, know that the divine is with you every single step of the way. And, oh, by the way, don't make your vision simple and easy. don't make it the very next step so there's no challenge for you. What is it that would completely scare you out of your wits? And you go, there's no way I can do that. Well, that's it. And or the oh my God, I can't do that. What will people think? I promise you, people will criticize you. I promise you. What is the greatest, most joyful vision that you could possibly have for yourself? Number 3, and I want to share with you what I've been doing in part of my daily spiritual practice. And what it is to be mindfully focusing on joy. And what I've been doing lately, and I want to do this right now with you, is I have been stopping wherever I am and taking a few deep breaths and then listening to the sounds around me. It is utterly amazing, the joy that the sounds that I don't typically hear. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so fun to do. So let's do it. So I'm going to ask you to sit back and take a really deep breath, a couple of really deep breaths. And if you'd like, close your eyes because it allows us to go inward instead of focusing outward. So go ahead and take a couple really deep breaths. And begin to hear the air flowing up into your nostrils. And then pausing. And then releasing. Listening to that sweet, sweet sound of an exhale. The breath is the greatest of all gifts. Listen. Listen to the extra sounds that you may never have heard before. There's a little tweak over here, a little something over there. So I'm going to give you about a minute. We're going to be here in silence, breathing consciously, listening to the sounds of creation around you. And it is in the listening that we hear the sweet whispers of the divine, of our home, of the clock ticking, of our stomach gurgling, somebody walking by. Listening to the sounds of the great creator. So take another deep breath and bring yourself back to our group here together. I can't encourage you enough to take on this spiritual practice. It's life-changing. I have been doing this since the monks were here, and really finding out little corners of creativity within me. You and I, let me just remind you, we're supposed to be joyful. And whether we are feeling it or not, there is a place in us that is pure joy, unruffled by any human experience. And then the fourth step, for those of you who know me, you know what I'm about to say. It's the greatest spiritual tool of creation. And it is to live in gratitude. What are you grateful for? I am so grateful for my beautiful home, for my wonderful husband, for my friends and family. As I create this mystic moment, I'm actually packing when I'm done here because it's Tuesday, and tomorrow I fly up to give my two sons and their families big hugs in Alaska. And I know this is being shown on Sunday, so I will have been there 5 days. It's truly one of my greatest joys. What is it for you? I love being here with you. It brings me great joy and happiness. So this week, I'd like you to stop every single day and just listen to the sounds around you. Look around and go, you know, that over there, it's just never brought me joy. Or, oh my gosh, it used to bring me so much joy, but I don't feel the joy anymore. I think it needs to go on to a new place. Let go. Release. Create your vision. Be outrageous. Be way out there. You can always bring in the boundaries, but let it go and let the divine create the vision through you. And mostly, be so grateful for everything. Thomas Kempis, in his book, The Imitation of Christ, wrote, "Blessed are the ears that pick up the godly whisperings." I love that. The godly whisperings all around us and within us. So have a wonderful week, everyone. I look forward to seeing you very soon, either online or in-house. We have so many different activities coming up this fall. Be sure and look in our newsletter, and be sure and tithe, because it's really fun to tithe. It really is joyful. And it's very joyful for those of us who are leaders to see that y'all want to continue this wonderful community.